We'll turn it down.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Take This. This is episode number 40. Griff, we are here. Episode number 40. How does it feel to be this far along into a podcast? Isn't that so exciting?
It is exciting, and I'll tell you what, it's even more exciting. It's episode 40, and it is Super Bowl week, Brad. We're here. I am extremely excited because, I mean, is it like the Super Bowl as an event is just so fun. I think, you think about the Super Bowl parties, you think about, all of the commercials. We have a Super Bowl halftime show, which, by the way, I think this year's lineup is going to be very fun. You have some of the greatest rappers to ever walk the earth. I really love that Kendrick Lamar is on the show, but it's a great spectacle. I'm very much looking forward to just sitting down with I'm going to a party. It's just a small thing with like my parents and like two other people. So it low key, but you know what, man, it's going to be a good time. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Matt Stafford hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. But yeah, man. What about you? Are you? I know you're not as much of an NFL guy, but it's the Super Bowl. Come on, I feel like there's a little bit more excitement in the air.
Yeah, you could say that. It's weird too.
Are you just upset because of the Stafford thing? Does that just really put a damper on it for you?
So, I don't know. It's always weird for me because so I never cared about the commercials because, whatever, right? And as a kid, I was super into college football, like really, really into college football. But then I just never got the whole NFL thing. And a lot of what it was probably is that my dad always had these like New Year's Eve parties. And I was always not a fan of them. Like so many people would come over and I'd be like sitting there 12 or whatever. And not a fan of the family that would come over. Just not interested at all. I would always watch the commercials and stuff after the fact, but it would never be something that I would enjoy in the moment. And the what's interesting though too is that I usually like to watch when Tom Brady was there. I will say that in my childhood I loved watching Tom Brady win or lose or whatever, but it was always more exciting for me when Tom Brady was there. And I think that is something that's interesting too, because I am seeing a very, very, and I want to go off, and I have this opinion here, but I want to go off and into Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow is getting to remind me of what Tom Brady did when he was here. Or when he was in the same position in 2003 or 2002, whatever. Joe Burrow is the guy. He comes in and just and goes into an environment that's not usually friendly to new quarterbacks or new personnel, and he changes the environment. And it's crazy to see. And this is something that I want to touch on this very quickly because I have been thinking about this a lot, and I'm not really sure yet how to talk about this yet because I don't know what'll happen on Sunday. Like, I don't think that is some merit that, if Joe Burrow loses, that this is like all lost on him, whatever. Because Matthew Stafford, this is his moment. This defines almost like what he's been through, and this will kind of change a lot of minds. But is it not ironic that Joe Burrow is going against Matthew Stafford? Because as someone who sat here and watched him die in Detroit, right? Like, he was the product of, yes, a failed franchise, but he was someone that wasn't able to lift them to another level. Like, he was not able to get them to that level. And just to see Joe Burrow come into Cincinnati, an environment where they didn't win a playoff game since 1991. He was able to do that not only in his second year, but get them to the Super Bowl. God, that has got to be I could not write a script better than that.
I'm going to say this.
Yeah,
there are some. All right. Sass. No. What this has shown me, right? For the last 2 decades, we've really valued the quarterback position, and rightfully so. It's the most important position on the field, and good quarterback play is the difference between, like, Denver is like the best example. If they are one quarterback away from being a championship contender because of how loaded the rest of the roster is, but when you don't have a quarterback anchoring down your offense to keep things moving, you don't got a shot, right? Like, it's just not going to happen. However, I do think, like, this thing of, like, the quarterback is all you need is also, not the case because, like, yeah, Joe Burrow has been incredible and he's easily trending towards being another, a great, like, I think we're going to be seeing, like, between Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and even well, really those three, right? Like, those three are going to be running the AFC, and it's going to be very, very fun to watch the next couple of years. But it goes to show, like, look at all those teams. Are they not all, like, incredibly talented? Like, Patrick Mahomes has the best tight end in football, has one of the best receivers in football, has a stable of good running backs, a pretty good, damn good offensive line. And, the defense was suspect at times, but still overall, I think they were, top half of the league unit. You look at the Bills, I mean, they didn't have a running game, but they had everything else. Good receivers, a decent tight end play, and their defense was stout. And then you look at the Bengals, and it's like, look at who Joe Burrow has to throw the ball to. And I'm not taking anything away from Joe Burrow. I'm just saying, look at who he has to throw the ball to. Ja'Marr Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd, and an emerging player in CJ Uzomah, or however it's pronounced, Uzomah, their tight end, who had turned into a pretty damn good player as this year went on. So the long point I'm trying to make here is all of these quarterbacks are very good and are a big reason why their teams had the years they did and were as successful as they are. Because, like, let's be real, all of those teams had successful years. All made the playoffs, all won a playoff game. Some were more successful than others, but hey, only one team can win, right? So it's the nature of the game. But the thing I'm trying to say is all of that points to you need a good team around you. You don't necessarily need the best team, but you need a good team and you need good coaching. I've always said scheme over team. And the Lions, don't get me wrong, Stafford did not step up in games where he needed to and could have tried to do more with what he had. But the Lions also had incompetent coaching. Jim Caldwell could not elevate that team when they were stacked with talent and couldn't get them past the first round of the playoffs. And obviously the Matt Patricia era, the Jim Schwartz era, all of it. It just goes to show that this game is a team sport. And while there are positions that are more valuable than others, you need a team to win it. And Stafford this year went to a team that has great coaching and a shit ton of great weapons. And I think that's why we saw such instant success. Like, yeah, that team is built to win. And there's probably, you could maybe argue at least eight other quarterbacks. Like if you put I was going to say of all the young quarterbacks, I didn't mention Justin Herbert because he's on a team with some good weapons, but the coaching has been suspect and some of the talent has been suspect on the team, that they just haven't been able to take that next step forward. Like their special teams kills them. Their kicker could not make extra points.
So then what do you say then about Joe Burrow? Because like if you go into the, like if you took 2009 Matthew Stafford from when Stafford was drafted, right? And you put 2009 Matthew Stafford in 2021 Cincinnati, and you give him his second year, right? Like this would be the equivalent to 2010 Matthew Stafford. Would
Stafford's nowhere close to what Burrow is now.
And so and I think that's like, it's just ironic, isn't it? It's ironic that Stafford is playing Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because Burrow did come in and was an instant difference maker. And, I will say this, I got to give credit to the Bengals, by the way. What a great team they built in such a quick turnaround. I mean, you get Jamar Chase, you've had Joe Mixon, you've had probably the two best free agent signings in the entire league with Trey Hendrickson, who might have been the perfect free agent signing. And then also Mike Hilton, who has been, a fantastic cornerback. And that really has helped solidify that defense in being competitive. Because that was my big concern, was I thought their defense was going to be a lot worse than it was. And it hasn't been the best, but it's been pretty damn good. So, but, they built a good team around him. So it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Joe Burrow is that good, and he is in an organization, at least in the last couple of years with building their team, has acted like a competent organization with acquiring players and putting in a good coaching system. It's both. Now, but like you said, Burrow came in, he is better than Stafford in terms of like where they are in their career and their career trajectories. As long as Burrow doesn't have a devastating injury or, regress like insanely, like way more than you could ever imagine, he is going to have a way better career trajectory than Stafford is. And I think a lot of that, like Stafford, if you remember the early years, he was rough. And they kind of brought in, I think it was, I forget who it might have been Caldwell, really, to fix him because he turned the ball over a lot. And it was after Caldwell we did really start to see a better version of Matthew Stafford. And then so it was kind of like we had all these things going. We had a decent team. Stafford was starting to kind of come into his own a lot more. And then Quintricia happened and everything fell off a cliff. I genuinely believe if they had kept going along the route that they were and they had made a better coaching decision and didn't have Bob Quinn running things, like it's very possible that Detroit could have been built to be a Super Bowl caliber team. Like, but that just goes to show what happens when, one bad hire can kill you and end your franchise's momentum and force you to do a bare bones rebuild.
And I absolutely agree too, because like Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia set the Lions back 10 years. Like when they were hired, when Bob Quinn came in 2015.
I wouldn't say 10 just because the nature of the NFL literally builds it kind of like the way the NFL is set up is to not allow a team to be good for a long period of time. That's why it was so impressive that the Patriots did it. But like because of the way the salary cap works, you can't afford to maintain all those good players because eventually they'll leave. So the NFL is built for ups and downs. That's why look at the Bengals. They went first to worst.
Right.
They were the worst team in the AFC North last year, and now are.
I mean, that must suck. That must suck to be like a Browns fan too. Like, think about that. Like, you come in, you got Baker Mayfield. You think that you're on like the war path.
You just went to the AFC Championship.
You just won the AFC North. You just beat. Like you're like, it's us versus the Steelers now
in the playoffs. Yep.
And now Cincinnati's coming for you, and now you got to deal with Cincinnati, and now that's gotta hurt. God, like they just last year were this close to a Super Bowl, and then Cincinnati goes there versus Kansas City. Oh my God, that is I can't imagine what that's like.
Yeah, it's rough. But I hope the Lions can do it, and I'm obviously very hopeful that they do. But right now, good for would you say this this Super Bowl? Like, are you disappointed if either team wins? Like, there's been Super Bowls where I'm like, fuck that team. I don't want that person to get a ring. So
but sort of.
In this instance, there's not really. The only thing I would say is I hate the Rams owner, Stan Kroenke, and what he did to St. Louis.
Yeah.
So for that, I would say, fuck you. I hate you.
The only Super Bowl that I've ever felt like about before, and I can't really say that because I have like a vendetta against the city of Philadelphia, but the closest thing I could think of really is like the Eagles and the Patriots, and this is not at all an opinion that is very popular. Like, a lot of people who I remember that watching that Super Bowl, like a lot of people who didn't like me, they were like, of course he's a Patriots fan. Like, of course he likes Tom Brady. Like, of course, you know. And a lot of that too was, for me, that was right around the time that like Donald Trump was gaining like all this popularity and stuff like that, and he'd been elected and all this stuff and whatever. And so a lot of people were comparing like Brady having that Make America Great Again hat in there. Like, it was a very like political reason to dislike Tom Brady, like very much so. But Tom Brady's the reason why that I started watching football. He's the reason why like I like did all this stuff. Like, I would, go on like video games and go in franchise mode, play as the Patriots. Like there was all this stuff that like got me into football, and like I just can't. And it was a part of that story too, right? Like, he was this guy who was like out of college, just like, no one. Like, we don't care about you,
Right.
And I think that was part of it too. And so it was almost like this comeback story. This dude turns out to be the greatest player in the history of the NFL. And like, it's just crazy. And I remember reading this article. I can't remember specifically. I think it was on slate.com, but I remember it was a Patriots fan who was sort of like talking about the Patriots and why like rooting for them in that moment was good if you dislike the NFL. And at that time, like I had a friend who had worked at the NFL Network, and she was a producer and like all this stuff. And I remember like her saying that the NFL is one of the worst like places to work. And like I remember like thinking like as part of like for labor in general, like that was something that was like very important to me. And so I remember like reading that article, and it's basically saying that if you have like if you're like morally worried about rooting for New England, then just keep in mind that like the Patriots are everything that the NFL hates. Like at its center, the Patriots at the time were very much like anti-NFL, because the Patriots winning all the time was bad for the NFL success. And like, just in spite of Deflategate and all this shit, like it was very much so like almost like a like FU like sort of move, And the Eagles ended up winning that year, like right? Was that the year that the Eagles won?
Yeah, I think so.
And so I did have, because the Patriots went to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. They won the year before and after they lost to the Eagles. And I just remember like thinking too to myself, like, it's Tom Brady. He's gonna get another one. So if they lose, what does it matter? You know? So that was my and I know that I've gone on to this like long-winded spiel, but that was the only time that I've ever been like, because every year it's like there's a team that I just can't stand. At least one. Like the Falcons, can't stand them. Like the just every year there's one team that you just dislike. But if the Bengals win, that's a good story. What's another one too? Probably New Orleans. The year that the Saints won, who did they beat?
The Colts.
So, right, like if a lot of people were pulling for the Colts, if the Colts won, cool. If the Saints win, they just went through Hurricane Katrina, so you feel bad for them. So, like it's always that like sob story now, like good for the city.
And the feel good story, right? Like, and I think like if the Bengals win, they have that. If the Rams win, there's less of a feel good. It's more. It's a few things.
It's for Stafford too.
Aaron Donald deserves a ring, right?
Right.
Going to be one of the greatest players of all time. That's a guy that deserves a ring. And arguably Stafford should too, but like him, it's obviously because he was our quarterback for so long that I'm kind of like more. I hope. He wins one because good for him. Although. Obviously it hurts the Lions draft pick, which isn't great, but whatever.
Well, and too, like if he wins a Super Bowl, dude ends up going in a Hall of Fame. Like he is not like going in a Detroit jersey.
Well, no, but I still think it's arguable if he goes to the Hall of Fame. I know he's got the accolades.
Well, I don't think.
He's never been an All-Pro.
It's an if though.
Oh yeah, if he does, he's going in as a Ram. 100%.
Right. Absolutely. Because why would he go in as, you know what I mean? Like he didn't accomplish anything with the Lions, yada yada.
Yeah, no, he will go in as a Ram. Right. He's gonna do what Calvin Johnson did. We're not gonna
talk about that. Dude should have went in as a free agent. Calvin Johnson should have went in no team attached. Just an NFL jersey.
He might as well have because he didn't really talk about the Lions because he didn't give him the satisfaction.
I mean, it's like Calvin Johnson in the Hall of Fame is just like when I'm like creating a player and like MLB The Show and it just says MLB The Show on the front. That's it. Just the game, just the name of the game. But I mean, and you're right though. You're right. Like I don't think that he has like the accolades right now to go in because like what has he done? Like I mean, if he goes in with the Rams, right, and he wins the Super Bowl, like that's like Nick Foles has won a Super Bowl. Who else has won a Super Bowl? Lots of players have won Super Bowls, but they're not God, They're not
right.
They're not all that,
Yeah. So no, but I think to look forward to this game, and we're kind of not talking about the game itself because we're kind of going to get into it and who you got. We have a very fun rundown
I'm excited
for all of you. But no, going into it, like the biggest strengths of the Rams is their defense. I think we know the question mark is that Bengals offensive line with how poorly, gave up 9 sacks in a playoff game. And now you got to worry about Aaron Donald. That's not a great recipe for success. But it's Joe Shiesty, baby. It's Joey B. Joe Burrow, baby. Like he's that good, and also like he's got the offensive output. And the Bengals defense is nothing to wag your finger at on paper. And like I get why the spread is like 4.5 for the Rams. On paper, it looks like the Rams should win this game, but I've said that about every other opponent the Bengals have had. And if this game comes down to what quarterback can make a big play at the end of the game, that's a tough. That's going to be close. It's a coin flip, because say all you want about Stafford, dude's clutch. He always comes up in the clutch. That's what he was always good at towards the end of his career in Detroit. Shit, he did it against the Buccaneers when he got in a field goal position. Now, that was also bad defense by the Buccaneers. Point still stands, though. You need someone to make a play and drive you down the field in under 2 minutes. Stafford's a guy to do it, and Joe Burrow is also a guy to do it. So this can be a good game. I'm very excited for it, and yeah, we're gonna. Let's you want to dive a little deeper into it, Brett? The season finale? Do we want to do this? Are we ready for this?
I am. I am so excited. You cannot.
So,
I don't think you can handle how excited I am.
So, I stumbled across this lovely link on Reddit. I don't have the original thing up, unfortunately, so I cannot credit whoever made it. But shout out to you. They put together, it is the ultimate Super Bowl prop bet layout sheet. It's got everything. And I love prop bets in the Super Bowl. I do not bet actually anything because I just don't care to. But I love prop bets during the Super Bowl just as a thing. Like, can I get it right? So, Brad, let's just, and this is our season finale of Who You Got. Just so everyone knows, Brad and I were very good this year, like 56 and 57% each, I think. You were 1 point behind me. So this is, for all the marbles, Brad, you got to get one more than me. And, we have so many picks here that I'm not really worried about, us having a bunch of the same picks, because I do think we're going to think things differently throughout this. I mean, one of them is literally a coin toss.
And that's the thing. Well, and a lot of these are like 50-50. Like, and I like, not to spoil anything, but like one of these is the color of the Gatorade that is dumped on the winning head coach. I don't know if there's any formula to that, but
there's probably a breakdown.
I mean,
because like,
if you study the history,
well, I'm gonna give you a little bit, yeah. Because let's talk about the first one. All right, pre-game prop bets. Over under national anthem length, 1 minute and 35 seconds. Mickey Guyton.
Yeah.
So here's
country
some fun
singer.
stats. I have a fun stat for you, Bradford. I have
Yeah.
a fun stat for you.
Yeah.
Did you know in the last 11 Super Bowl national anthems, all of them around the same minute and 30 mark, none of them have hit the under. They've all gone over because people like to embellish the note. I mean, they're on a national platform, 200 million people watching, So it's always gone over. However,
they've all been at the minute 30.
They've all been over. Yeah, and they've all been in that minute and 35 range. And they've all gone over by significant, like 10 seconds.
Oh, so, I bet. Because, I just looked it up. The average from 1990 to like 2000 or something like that, the average length of the anthem was 1:56.
Wow.
So I was just thinking, like, this is a terrible number.
However, so here's the other thing I found out based on some articles I saw on this. I was like on TikTok and I was scrolling through and there was someone talking about this over under, and I went and looked at this stuff up, and it's true. So I looked that up, and then but Mickey Guyton, the singer, is known as Quickie Mickey because of how quick she sings the national anthem.
I bet.
So
okay, yeah,
but.
Let's sing it right now and see how long it is.
She isn't saying that. She's saying the national anthem. She isn't saying the national anthem at the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, how much you want to bet she takes 3 minutes?
Oh, she's going to be holding notes. She's going to, again, she will not be Quickie Mickey. Give me the over. We go to 12 in a row.
Yeah, I'm going to go over.
Yeah. This one I feel like is I don't want to say the easier one, but like the last 11 have gone over, and people are trying to impress on the national stage. They're
I bet.
Do it up. All right, Brad. What will the first coin toss be? Heads or tails, and who wins the toss? So 2 and 1 here.
I gotta go.
I believe these are separate prop bets if you actually bet them. But you parlay it, do a double coin flip basically. 1 in 25 odds.
I mean, we can still do them as separate, but I got tails and I have the Rams winning.
Okay, tails never fails for Brad.
I mean, what are you going to do? Like, again, that's literally 50-50.
I am also a tails never fails, but I'll pick the Bengals just because who fucking cares? Let's be opposite.
Exactly.
Because this doesn't have any thought process. All right. So here we have our over-unders.
Yeah.
So we're not only doing over-unders total, we're doing over-unders on a per-quarter basis.
Yeah.
So in the first and third quarters, the over-under is 9.5. So that's points in that quarter only, not like the total.
Yeah.
And then in the second quarter, 13.5. And then the overall total of the game, 48.5 points.
Yeah. So
Bradford,
who do I have? So I got this is so hard. So I got an over on this one. So to be honest, you want to hear my honest answer? I got over on the first, second, third, and the fourth quarter. So I got to go over on all of them.
Wow, Brad.
Mean, come on. 9.5. You know what gets you to 9.5? 7-3.
That's true.
All you need, all I need.
It's not a lot. So I'm gonna say
I gotta take
these teams. These teams are both, I feel like, slow starters.
You think so?
But it's the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna do over for the first. I'm gonna do over for the second. I'm doing under for the third because I think there'll be a lull in the game.
Yeah.
And then I think there's going to be an over in the fourth.
So my reasoning and
so obvious. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say my reasoning too is just because, think about it. What's the best way to win the lottery? You bet the same numbers every time.
That's fair. That is fair.
So I'm using logic,
So I assume you are over for the game as well.
I am over for the game. Yeah, that would be dumb to go.
I am picking that. Well, yeah, because you picked over. I'm going over as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this is literally. I need 24-24. I feel like this game's going to get there.
It's the 30 points. I mean, someone's
both
gonna
of
get
these offenses are electric.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be insane. All right.
Moving on. Game
Going
stats.
on to the game stats. Over unders. All right. Brad, over under 5.5 touchdowns.
5.5.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna go. 5. I'm gonna go over.
Say if you're going over on the others, I think that's totally
you might
fair.
as well.
I'm
yeah.
Going over.
Yeah.
This one's interesting. Field goals 3.5.
I gotta go over.
Damn it! You keep taking mine because I ain't going. So here's my reasoning for this.
Yeah.
We have these teams have two of the best kickers in the NFL.
That's true.
And I think just late game, I think they could be trading field goals for the win or trying to tie it up.
Yeah.
All right. This one's interesting. Interceptions 1.5.
I gotta go over.
Okay. I'm gonna go under. I don't think either. I think both quarterbacks are gonna have great games.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to make mistakes. And then fumbles, I'm also under on that. It's also 1.5. Fumbles are a lot harder to predict, but I feel like
I'm going to go
these
under.
Teams,
I'm going to go under just because that I think, well, and I mean, I don't know. And I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Could not tell you.
Yeah, I just think fumbles are hard to predict because it's like a trend, right? If a quarterback throws a lot of interceptions, you can kind of predict on that.
Right. But it's also hard because Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford, What? Like, well, in the NFL's not like a running league, right? Like it's a passing league.
Yeah,
so like,
and like you got to think like who are the running backs, right? We have Joe
Right.
Mixon, who's got good ball security.
Sony Michel.
Sony Michel and Cam Akers, who
Right.
will be fine. I just don't I mean, unless a strip sack fumble, but that's so hard to predict.
And that's the thing. Like you got two solid backs, and I mean, the more you run, the more chance you have at a fumble.
Yeah. Yeah. So for that, I think I gotta go. Under there. All right. So sacks 4.5.
So for me, I'm gonna be
think?
surprising. I'm gonna go over.
No, I'm 100% going over.
Yeah.
This is too easy. Stafford does not have great pocket presence. That was one of my biggest critiques of him in Detroit. Took a lot of sacks. Joe Burrow has good pocket presence, but very rarely ever has a clean pocket.
There's also a lot of pressure here.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're going to have Aaron Donald and Von Miller trying to eat your lunch.
Right.
With that offensive line. I think easily between the two teams, we see 5 sacks. All right. Punts, 6.5.
I have to go under. That number is too high. It is almost to 7. So. It's all like if that was one.
I'll say this. If this hits the over, it means it's a bad game.
Right. And that's fair. That's totally fair. Because like I would think that like 3 punts each, because I feel like if you're punting a lot, you're just punting a lot, right? Like that means that you're punting like more than like 4 times, in a game. And again, like if it's 7, like if you got 7 punts in the game, like I don't want to see that.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, yeah, I got the under on that, but then kick returns
over. So you got to go over.
Yeah, because like we're already, if there's 6 touchdowns, there's 6 kick returns.
Right.
Unless something happens at like the end of the half, but I think if we're saying over on the field goals and over on the touchdowns,
right?
I think there's a lot of kickoff returns.
Yeah, so that's just a lot. That means a lot of scoring.
If you're doing this, you should parlay those. Like if you really think the field goals and the touchdowns are both going to be overs, you should absolutely parlay it with the kickoff returns, because it kind of automatically means if you hit the touchdowns and field goals, the kick returns have to hit.
Right.
So if you are betting this, parlay it, boost your odds, help yourself out, pat on back. Yes. So, all right, that's the over under in the game stats. Now we're going to run through the Rams players, and their individual stats, a few of the fun, prop bets, over unders. We start with one Mr. Cam Akers.
I gotta take
rushing yards 68.5.
68.5.
68.5.
What do you got, Griff? Who do you got?
I'm going over.
Go over.
He has been very quiet.
Yeah.
It is rushing yards. That's the thing. If it was all purpose, I'd feel better about it.
I'm gonna take the under, right? And
I don't blame you.
So
I think there will be a lot of passing in this game.
And I think specifically, like, you're going to see a lot of passing from Matthew Stafford. That is what he does. He didn't get to 50,000 yards. He was not fastest to 50,000 yards on accident. He did that because he just fucking chucks the ball. Like, I remember one of my earliest memories of Matthew Stafford, right? He's doing his 2-minute drill at the half.
Yep.
And I forget who the hell this game was against, but the Lions are kind of making a comeback. They're almost to the half, right? And Matthew Stafford chucks the ball down to Calvin Johnson and lands at the 3-yard line. You know what happened after that? Half over. Half just ended, like at the buzzer. It was 3 minutes from the end zone, and I was like, that figures. Commercial break. So,
Yeah, I think.
I mean, I don't know. No, again, you're gonna see a lot of passing in this game.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'm still gonna go the over on Akers.
All he needs is 68 and a half
it's yards. Not a lot. He can rip a
no.
long run and get half of that. So I'm gonna go Akers. Over.
I mean, that's 2 30-yard runs almost.
Yep. All right, Matthew Stafford Over under 24.5 completions.
Are you kidding me? Over. I'd parlay that with the previous one.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Oh man, that's tough. I kind of want to say, part of me wants to say under. Is Stafford gonna throw the ball 25 times?
Come on, he's gotta.
Yeah, he's gotta. He's gotta. Like,
I mean, you could make them both the same. Like, just because one is over does not mean this one's got to be under.
Oh, 100%. No. I know that. I was just thinking, like, do I really think he's going to throw the ball that much? And I just think he's going to have to. I think the game is going to come down to it's going to get to a point where it's
think about that, right? Like, if you're in a 2-minute drill, Rams are behind or something,
Right.
I mean, this could go completely opposite, and the Rams end up at a point where they're running out the clock, and Sony Michel and Cam Akers are out here just thriving on runs and 4-yard runs here and there, whatever. And all of a sudden, like, now you got Cam Akers with 100 rushing yards with the last 40 in the last 2 minutes.
Yep.
All
right. Cooper Kupp over 107.5 receiving yards.
I thought about this one too, and I think that Cooper Kupp's going to have a big game. I'm going to go over. And
I'm going over.
And
he scores 100 yards every game.
And right. And so so you'd think that the Bengals would try to like cover him, and you'd think that the Chiefs would too. But the dude is just always open. I mean, he's some big guy, right? Like, and he it's not like he's hiding from anyone, but he's just out open all the time.
Yep. 100%.
So
okay. So OBJ now over under 5.5 receptions.
I'm gonna go under.
I'm going over, mainly because it seems like they've prioritized getting the ball in his hands more often.
Right.
And he has been utilized more in the passing game. So for now, I am going over. All right. Cooper Kupp, 8.5 receptions. I assume we're both going over here because if he's getting that. I mean, granted, Cooper Kupp could go over 100 yards in 3 plays, but
yeah, and with Stafford too, that's probably pretty likely, if I'm going to be honest. But that's the thing, right? With Stafford is that he just chucks the ball for like, a million different plays, whatever. Like, and it's all part of that air raid arm. He's just got one of the best arms in the league. Well, I say he's a great quarterback? No, but he's got one of the best arms.
Yeah, exactly. So looking back at looking up next. So we got Sony Michel, anytime touchdown scorer.
So I'm gonna go over because all he needs is one. And the reason I say that, and it's tough because like with Stafford making all these big plays, but I think that is part of the logic, right? Because Stafford is some guy that shoots the ball downfield and ends up with, maybe you pass it in the end zone and third down, but like you're gonna run it. You try to run it in the red zone. You got to do something. You don't want to throw an interception in the red zone. And so I don't know. Like you got to do that. Same logic. Same thing with Barry Sanders in the 90s. He would run for 1,000,000 yards, but he'd never have like the touchdown results because these guys would always just run it into the end zone on a 2-yard play.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I'm going under just because I think, he is the second down back.
Right.
Or the secondary back, I should say.
That's true.
I'm gonna give the nod. I'm just gonna say he's not gonna score a touchdown. Cam Akers hasn't scored one touchdown this postseason. I feel like he's due for one. So
that's true.
I'm gonna assume he gets the touchdowns and there's gonna be receiving touchdowns.
That's
so
true.
I'm gonna say under on it. All right. We got finally the last
Jefferson.
Mr. Van Jefferson, very underrated deep threat receiver, but he doesn't get a lot of looks. But again, he could get this in one play. 31.5 receiving yards.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. I don't like picking this.
I gotta take under. I don't know. I guess like when in doubt, take the over. Screw it. Who cares? Take the under.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I just feel like he's going to get one or two of those bomb plays.
Right.
And that's going to be enough to get him to that total. So I'm going to go over. All right. Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon rushing.
62.5 yards.
That's a tough one. I'm going to say over. I think that, and I don't know, maybe, well, I don't know what the Bengals are going to do. They've surprised me up to this point. So I feel a lot less confident on these Bengals players than I do about the Rams players. But I'm going to take the under. Who cares? Did I say over or under?
It's a passing game.
Yeah.
It's a passing. I'm going to go under as well. I just don't trust the Bengals offensive line. Joe Burrow, 2.5 touchdown passes. I mean, I think this is pretty obvious for both of us.
This is going to be, this can be over.
So the only reason this doesn't happen is if Joe Burrow throws the ball and all of his receivers get tackled at like the 2.
Right. Wow.
And then, it's a rushing touchdown.
Right, exactly.
All right.
I got to... I'm sorry.
Ja'Marr Chase? Oh, no, go ahead. Go if you have more to elaborate. Yeah. Oh,
no,
sorry.
I don't.
Yeah. Joe Burrow, though, over 2.5. I think he gets 3 passing touchdowns.
It's pretty self-explanatory. Ja'Marr Chase, receiving yards, 82.5.
That's a tough one. I feel like he's going to be getting a lot. He's going to be with Ramsey,
Right. Well, who's their main, who's their number one target?
Chase, easily.
Right.
He'll get shadowed by Ramsey all game, I think.
Right.
Just about all game.
Right. And that's the thing, like the Rams have Cooper Kupp, and he's somehow, I don't know, always again, I just don't understand how he's not covered more. I don't understand how that happens. I was watching the AFC Championship, or I'm sorry. No. What was the game I was watching? Was it the NFC Championship game where he's just out in the middle of nowhere, at the end of the game, and they're just not covering him for some fucking reason?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it was San Francisco, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, I think with Chase, I'm going to go under on the yards. I just feel like he's going to get held in check by Ramsey, and the other Bengals receivers are going to have a very good day.
And that's the thing, right? You got to spread it around. So, I'm going to agree with you. I got to say under.
Now, immediately following that makes my next pick very easy. T. Higgins, 5.5 receptions. I'm going over. T. Higgins has got to be one of the most underrated receivers I don't want to say in the league, but he is such a good number 2 receiver. He's a big body. He's going to get the red zone looks. He's very, very good.
Do you think that and this kind of ties into the whole thing. Do you think that the Bengals strategy should be to just hog the clock? Because with short pass, I mean, I don't know, because I'm thinking about it more and more, and I don't know that, because Stafford's not this dude, right? And this isn't college. This isn't in college, that's a very overused strategy, just because you have a bunch of guys that can sling the ball across to bad secondary. But the problem that I foresee is Stafford just chucking the ball some way and ended up with an 80-yard. And I don't know that there's going to be a lot of those, but would the Bengals be better off just with clock control?
Yeah, I mean,
because if the Bengals do that, you're going to see every receiver at 5.5 receptions doing screens and flats and whatever have you.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. I'm just not sure, but I do think so. You're going over with Higgins.
Absolutely. I would take the over on every receiver that they have.
Even if they have to throw the ball a lot, I think Ramsey is going to make Chase not a non-factor. He's still going to get targets and catches, but I think he's going to be limited, and Burrow is going to have to give some receptions elsewhere. And I think Higgins will be the benefactor of that.
Right.
All right. Joe Burrow rushing yards, 11.5.
I'm going to go under just because I think that there will be some sacks in this game, right? That counts, right? So
it does not take away from rushing yards on QBs.
Are you sure
sacks
it doesn't?
Sacks do not count in college. They do in the NFL. Sacks do not count. As
what is that
yard.
bullshit?
Well, it's kind of stupid for like.
That's true.
If you're a rushing quarterback in like college, I always hated that rule because it's like, oh, he didn't have that many rushing yards. Like, well, yeah, because every sack he lost like 4. It's not really
right.
the same.
I guess that's not really that's not really fair to them. I'm still gonna take the under. I mean, again, like you mentioned, the Rams have a defensive line that's gonna really challenge the Bengals offensive line. I mean, granted, this game could be 40-20. It's gonna be really challenging for the Bengals.
Yeah, I think. Oh man, I'm gonna say under. I feel like he could rip one for rip a run off, but I just don't think like a QB sneak. Like I don't know. Burrow is elusive in the pocket, but he's not really gonna take off and run with it. He's gonna buy time and try to find a receiver.
Right.
So I'm going to say under. I'm going to go with you. Under. All right. Tyler Boyd, 38.5 receiving yards. Over, under.
I gotta take the over.
So I'm conflicted on this.
Yeah.
Because Boyd is really in that offense, he's the 5th option.
Right.
Between Chase, Mixon, Higgins, and Uzama, he's probably the 5th, the wide receiver 5 in terms of the target share in this game, or at least in the Bengals offense. He probably gets the 5th highest target share. It's only 40 yards, though. Chase is going to be, between, they have some good corners, so Chase and Higgins could both be hindered in terms of yardage. Boyd, it can break off a big play. I'll say over, even though I'm not super confident about it. All right. Samaje Perine, he's the secondary back for the Bengals. Who do you have, or what do you have here? Over, under 1.5 receptions.
Gotta take the under. I think
I'm with you. I just don't think, like, if they bring him out, I think he is their, he's kind of like their third down back, like they'll use him as a passing option. I just don't think he's going to get the targets. Bradford, hello?
Yeah,
Bradford,
no, and
listen, I get it. Samaje Perine breakdown isn't the most exciting thing, but it's Super Bowl week, Nick. Come on!
I thought you'd go into this spiel. I was expecting you to go into this thing about
I don't have anything to say about Perine.
And what do you want me to say about him? I've already said that it's under. I'd be surprised if he get 1.
All right.
I'd be surprised if he's on the field once.
All right, there you go. Real bold. Okay, moving on to this is just LA or Cincinnati. Who will do these things first, really? So,
who's gonna get a touchdown first, Griff? LA or Cincinnati?
Who did I pick to win the coin toss? The Bengals. I'm gonna say the Bengals then. It is. I think Bengals score. They score quickly and set the tone.
So, and that's right. Well, so like, but that's the thing, right? Like, I picked, and I don't know like that this is gonna happen. But who did I pick to win the coin toss? I picked the Rams. Even then, whoever wins the coin toss, Griff, could defer. You know that, right? Like they can defer.
Is true.
So, and that's probably what they will do because that's the smarter option.
I'm changing my pick. I'm going Rams, actually. Now, to be fair, I'm taking the Rams because now that I've thought about it, the Bengals, I feel like play from behind a lot.
Yeah. And I mean that's totally fair. I'm saying the Rams because I think and I feel that for some reason I just had it in my gut feeling like I can see the Bengals getting and again foreshadowing, but I can see that the Bengals will get a field goal first, but the Rams are going to get the opening touchdown.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, the Bengals could score first, but I still think that the Rams will get the first touchdown.
Yep. No, I think that's fair. I think that is fair. Yeah. So we both got Rams.
We both got Rams.
All right. Now, first field goal based on what you just said.
Bengals all the way, baby.
Okay.
Bengals all the way. I know. It's bold. It's going bold. You know, I could tell you the whole game. Predict the whole game already. I know what's going to happen.
Is that so?
Yeah, that is, actually. It kind of sucks that we're not doing this on like Friday or Saturday or something.
Yeah.
You know, we should do that, Griff. We should do another show on Friday and Saturday.
Well, I will say I want to, not for the Super Bowl, because, you know, I feel like you're at parties for Super Bowls.
Right.
And other people are at that. But during the draft, I want to do, I don't know if we'll broadcast it, but you and I will do a watch along together.
We should do that. We should do that. That is a good idea, Griff. That is a good idea.
Because the Lions have 2 picks.
Right.
And, you know, there's a lot of fun things going on.
Exactly.
With it, even outside the Lions. So it's going to be a good time. Anyway, first field goal, I'll say Rams just to be different.
Okay.
Because
yeah. Sure.
I think the Bengals will answer the touchdown with another touchdown.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that could happen. First turnover?
First turnover?
That's a toughie. I got to say
Stafford,
Rams.
If yeah, I was going to say, if it's going to happen, it'll be Stafford throwing a pick.
And he does that like a lot. Like it's almost like disgusting because you're like, wow, he can play football, and then you're like, absolutely not. Just kidding. I forget that I said that.
Yeah,
it's pretty rough.
He plays some hero ball, and it burns him sometimes.
And well, and that's the thing, right? Like you get like. I always say that some of the best quarterbacks, right, like Stafford, Brady, etc. They're very good at being like that 2-minute drill. Like Aaron Rodgers, same deal. Like he can do that 2-minute drill, right? Like no pressure. Every sport has that guy, that clutch guy, right? Like the quarterback's the guy in football. Well, Stafford seems to do it like. You know, like Brady might be in it because like his defense gave up like shit ton of touchdowns or that's just the nature of the game, right? Like you're just following along with the game. Like the game, like that happens, right? With Stafford, it always why does it always seem self-inflicted? Like it always seems like Stafford gets himself into the situation.
At least like sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't.
I mean, that's totally fair because that's the NFL, right? Like, you know, I mean, the NFL's just competitive. It's got close games like all the time, right? And sometimes you're just in a situation that you just gotta rise above it. But then you got Stafford out here sometimes just throwing an interception on 3rd down with the lead and 4 minutes to go. So I don't know.
Yep. No, that's totally fair. It's totally fair.
Griff, who do you think is going to take a timeout first?
So I have. So my thought process here is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because of Sean McVay. I'm going to say the Rams because of a failed challenge.
Really? Interesting.
I think because that's an automatic timeout.
Right.
It does not. Sense. It just says first team to use a timeout.
Right.
So that
that's totally fair.
I assume that includes, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I assume that includes timeouts burned because of a failed challenge. So I'm going with that.
I think that the Bengals are going to lead at the I think that the Rams are going to lead at the half. And so I think that because of that, like that logic, I think that the Rams will I think that the Bengals will use the timeout first. Just because they're it's pretty common knowledge. I think that they like to play from behind. That seems to be the general vibe. Do I know if that'll happen? Nah, not really, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
First punt.
And then the first team to punt.
First team to punt. I got to say the Rams.
don't think there will be a lot of punting in this game.
Neither do I. So this is kind of random
Rams
for me.
Yeah, I'll just say Bengals. I'm just gonna be like that offensive line gives up a bad sack early.
That could be true.
And
that could be true.
Them off the field.
I mean, I could totally see a point where like the Rams, they're scoring right. It's maybe like it's close, like it's 10-7 or something stupid like that, and then like the Bengals punt it away, and then Stafford throws an interception and it's 10-7, and then the Bengals punt it, and then the Rams do something. I don't know. But
all right. So now we're moving on to yes or no.
Yes or no.
These are just, will these things happen in the game?
Right.
So, first kickoff, will it be a touchback?
Yes. Aren't these kickers amazing?
They kick it out of the back of the end zone. The only reason why it wouldn't is if whoever the returner was got, started feeling themselves a little too much. You know what I mean? It was like, it's the Super Bowl. I'm going to win it all. And then he fumbles, taking it out of the end zone. All right. So we both got yes. First offensive play is a rushing attempt. So this does not include the kickoff. This is after the offense is on the field. Will the first play be a rushing attempt?
The problem with this that I have with this is really that, like, I don't know. It depends on who does it, but it's hard to say. I know this is just a yes or no. If it's the Rams, then no. But if it's the Bengals, then I have more confidence. I'm gonna say yes, just to say yes.
I'm gonna say yes because I think you're right. I think if the Bengals get it, very likely, and even the Rams, that's still 50-50.
That right.
So I feel like it's a good chance,
right?
And it's the Super Bowl. Like, you run the ball, you let your offense kind of let everyone get that first play out of their system,
right?
Calm the nerves, and then you settle in, right?
Exactly.
All right. Will there be a special teams for defensive touchdown?
I gotta say, no.
Now, this is obviously no.
I gotta say no.
This would have very good odds. Like this, us saying no would be like minus 230, and then yes would be plus 300.
God,
but
that's
I'm saying no.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. We both said under on the turnovers.
Right.
So that already reduces the chances.
Right.
And
you got to think, right? Like, what are the chances that there's an interception? They're pretty high since Stafford has a relatively high. I don't want to say high, but like it's sort of like, he throws interceptions. But at the same time, like, then you got to get it to the end zone. Then you got to get it. I don't know. No, thank you.
Yeah. It's a very hard thing to predict.
Right.
So I'm going to say no as well.
Yeah.
I don't see the special teams coming up big in that regard either.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to say no. Will Evan McPherson, kicker for the Bengals, outscore Matt Gay, kicker for the Rams?
No. Wait. No. I don't. No. He won't.
I'm going to say no. I feel like the Rams will settle for more field goals.
You would. Yeah. Well, yeah. Griff, will there be a successful 2-point conversion?
That's so hard to
I gotta say yes. I have to say yes. It's this. Come on, Griff. It is the Super Bowl. Like,
I understand, but will there be a need to? And then again, will the team need to? So will they even attempt one in the first place? Like, I don't disagree.
And then there's got to be it's got to be a success.
But then it's the success, which I do think would happen.
I gotta say yes. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm sticking with it. My gut says yes.
But the no is more so because I just don't think there will be a need for them.
Right.
Maybe. All right, missed extra point.
No.
I mean, it's possible, but I would be shocked. These are both very good kickers who do not miss extra points. All right. Will Logan Wilson intercept a pass? Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes. Safety. I'm going to say yes.
Ooh, I'm going to say no. Very specific, and I just don't think. Yeah. I think Stafford is not going to make a lot of mistakes in this game. Onside kick attempt. Again, this is very dependent on the late game situation.
It is. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no as well.
Because it's hard, right? Like, you'd expect the Bengals to be down late, but at the same time, like, I would not want to give Stafford the ball.
No,
I would also not want to give Joe Burrow the ball.
I think there's going to be a trading of leads. So you're going to keep kicking the ball deep, right?
Right.
I don't think it's going to be a team playing catch up and trying to,
get
the ball back and steal possession or something like that.
Next one is Bengals use a coach's challenge first. I'm going to say no.
I also am going to say no. Sean McVay loves to challenge things that probably shouldn't be challenged. So I'm going to say no. I'm going Rams on that. So we both say no. Will the LA Rams, Brad, score in all 4 quarters?
I think that every team is going to score in all 4 quarters.
I think both teams are as well. Yeah. I think me and you very clearly are trying to manifest a high-scoring game here.
I mean, we are.
Like, can you blame us?
No.
I don't think so.
I'm sorry. Points scored with under 1 minute of the first half. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Even if it's a field goal. Like, I'm not saying that there's going to be a touchdown, but like there's going to be something.
A point. Could be a safety.
It could be. That's true.
I'll say yes. I think both of these teams are going to play efficient football, and they're both, I think, are good in those 2-minute situations.
Will Los Angeles have the lead at halftime?
Yes. I think if they lose this game, it's because they blow it in the second half.
Absolutely. 100%.
I do think they will go in with a lead. Now, if they're tied, we both lose this bet, by the way. It does specifically say a lead.
That's true. Do you think that Joe Burrow has a touchdown pass in the fourth quarter?
Absolutely. He's too clutch.
Yeah, I think so too.
Big play, he's going to.
So he's that guy. Yes, he is literally that guy.
That guy. You're not that guy, Bill. You're not that guy. A 4th down conversion for a touchdown.
No, and like you've kind of been mentioning in some of these, like this one is way too oddly specific. This is way too specific for me to agree to.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be, and again, I just think these teams' offenses are so good that if they get close enough to the end zone and they need a touchdown, like they have to go for it on 4th and goal, they can need, like, I don't think they'll need all 4 downs. I think they'll get it done before that. A lead change in the 4th quarter. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot.
And we're going to trade leads.
Right.
Like the end of that Rams Chiefs game.
Stafford throws an interception. Griff, I can guess.
We're both, I think, going over on this.
Yeah, we're taking yes.
I think he's going to throw one.
Yeah.
He's going to have one bad ball because he always seems like he's going to have one.
I mean, it's whether it's because and it's always been the way that I've compared Stafford is it's always like seems to be and Brady has some bad moments, but like the thing that differentiates like Stafford in the mental game from like Brady or someone else is like he's like sometimes like not like good in the moment, you know? Like, and Brady has some bad balls, but like it's just something as stupid as like some dude tips it, you know? And that's skill or something, but like should you have thrown that there and whatever? Yep. But yeah. Do you think that the longest touchdown will be over 42 yards? I say yes.
I gotta say a bomb. I'm gonna say no. I know that both of these teams can do it, but man, I gotta imagine they're not gonna let you beat them over the top.
That's fair.
I think it's gonna be chunk plays, but I don't think they're gonna give up long touchdowns.
Right, so and that's a TD. No. So,
yep, that's the biggest thing. It's touchdown. Play over 42, absolutely, but I don't think the touchdown. All right, points scored with less than 2 minutes in the game. To me, this is an easy yes.
Yeah, it's got to be a yes. Didn't we already say there's going to be points scored in the last minute? Oh, that was the first half. My bad.
Yeah. All right, Brad. Will this game go into overtime?
No, I can't. I
can't
imagine.
No, I don't want to. I like when games finish in regulation.
So do I. It feels better for everyone. You know, like it's way too stressful.
After and not. It's like partially because of the Super Bowl, but also I have worked. It is Wednesday, and I've worked 40 hours this week already. So I still have 2 days left.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm taking a comp day Monday.
Do you think Los Angeles will cover its spread at -4.5?
No.
So do I. I gotta say no. This is foreshadowing for my pick.
So if you remember last week's episode, I said on our early betting segment, lock in Bengals -4.5. 17 out of the 20 weeks where they went against a team they either won or lost by 3 or fewer points. Just saying, they play games and they play teams close. I think this game is going to be easily within 4 points. I like the Bengals to cover the spread at the very least. All right, odd or even? These are just 3 of them, but it's a fun little segment here. Will the first player to score a touchdown have an odd or even jersey number? So, Brad, to give you some perspective, Cam Akers is 23.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Kupp is number 10. OBJ is number 3, I believe.
Right.
Trying to remember.
What about God?
Looking at the Bengals roster right now to see.
Give me an even.
Jamar Chase is number 1.
Yeah. What about? What about? God, what's his name? Because I don't know any of these guys' jersey numbers. What about? God, who's on the Bengals?
T. Higgins is 85. I'm realizing now there's a lot of odd numbers.
Yeah. Give me the odd.
I think odds are
that's the way to go.
So unless but the issue is Cooper Kupp is the even number,
right?
But will the Rams score the first touchdown?
Right. But even then,
yeah, I think the odds are in your favor if you pick odd. And no, that was not an intended pun.
But even then too, you got OBJ, you got Cam Akers, you got multiple weapons. I mean, Stafford could throw a screen to Akers, for God's sake. I mean, he could throw a swing route or a wheel route to him. It's not like he's just got to throw to his receivers. Kupp is not the only option.
Tyler Higbee, who's the tight end for the Rams, is number 89.
Right.
It's a lot of odd numbers. I'm kind of realizing it's kind of funny, but. Yeah, I think Van Jefferson's one that is 12. So he's the only other one. And maybe CJ Uzama, he might be 88. I can't remember. But yeah, not a lot of great options. So yeah, I'm gonna go odd. I mean, Cooper Kupp is the biggest I don't want to say question mark, but he's the biggest reason why it wouldn't happen.
So combined unused timeouts at halftime, is that gonna be odd or even?
So
I'm gonna say odd, just to get my answer out of here.
All right, Brad's going on. Yeah, this one's tough to think. So it's Bay's gonna blow a timeout with a challenge.
But you just gotta think about it in totals, right? If
I'm just trying to think
that means that someone used one, someone used 2. If the Rams use all their timeouts, but the Bengals have 1 left, that's 1. If it's 0, then that's even. So you think about that.
I think I'm gonna do even. I'm gonna say one team has 2 left. And
right.
Uses all their timeouts,
and that's totally fair.
So I'm gonna just go even. All right, combined score total. This one's a coin flip. Let's see. I'm going to predict even. Actually, I'm going to do odd because technically you actually have better odds of getting an odd number because in order for the score to be actually not necessarily. No, never mind.
I'm going to say odd because my final score prediction is odd.
Okay, well there you go. All right, halftime show. Will Mary J. Blige perform first? I don't think so.
No. I'm going to say no because I have no idea who the fuck that is.
I don't know who Mary J. Blige is.
I have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
Brad.
Listen, I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to offend a lot of, I'm sorry to anyone watching. I have not seen Star Wars, haven't seen Harry Potter. I could not tell you who, like, Adam Driver. I found out about him in the last year. Had no idea who he was. I'm just like living under a rock. I could tell you what Wordle is. I could tell you that.
You have the culture of a snail.
The culture of a snail. That is so, yeah, the culture of a snail.
What the fuck, man? Like,
I'm going to put that in my Twitter bio. That is
Anyway,
that
Mary
is
J. Blige.
good.
Mary J. Blige is a
dude. I
American
have no idea.
Hip hop and soul songwriter and singer. She's very good.
I couldn't tell you. I know who Chris Rock is.
That has nothing to do with this. A washed up SNL comedian?
He was on SNL. Couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
Yeah,
no, I don't know.
Not washed up. He's very good stand-up. Anyway, no, I don't think they have been billing this as like Dr. Dre and then Snoop, and then it's like Snoop Dogg and Eminem, and then Kendrick Lamar and Mary J are kind of the fourth and fifth in terms of like, I think it's gonna be Dr. Dre out the gate, if I'm being honest. All right, Brad, will Eminem perform Lose Yourself?
Of course he will.
Yeah, 100%, without a doubt.
I mean, like, what name me one Eminem song that came out in the last 5 years?
Kamikaze, Godzilla. That one got real popular. It's got Juice WRLD on it.
I guess
I'm not a big Eminem fan. I used to. Like, I'm a white kid from Metro Detroit area. You know,
right? So it's in your blood.
So I was, it was part of the upbringing of being an Eminem fan when you were in like middle and high school.
Right.
I don't really listen to him a lot now. I still like him for the most part, but like, Lose Yourself was my fucking shit in high school, man.
And
I
loved Eminem.
It's
his like biggest.
But no,
song.
like,
well, not biggest, but
he'll play, and like they're gonna probably play like, Forgot About Dre. I bet you they'll do that because Eminem and Dr. Dre are both on that. So, but no, I think if Eminem, he's gonna play that because it's it's his most popular song, arguably.
What about? I want your opinion on this one. What do you think Snoop Dogg will smoke and sing the next episode?
Snoop Dogg is 100% gonna toke up on stage, and it's gonna be hilarious because the NFL's awful rules on marijuana usage for players.
I agree. Now, have you heard the next episode?
Yeah, I know the song.
I have no idea what that song is. I have not heard the song. The most I've heard out of Snoop Dogg is when he was a guest announcer on NHL 20. Dead ass. That was my favorite.
No, you've heard it.
Come on, have I?
The song starts out ba-da-da-da-da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G, Snoop Dogg. Like, you've never heard that? It's one of the most, like, well-known hip-hop intros of all time.
What is it called? The
next episode.
The next episode. Let's find it. Dude, I don't know. I listen.
Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
I have no idea. I don't even know if I've heard a Snoop Dogg song. He's in a Corona commercial. I can tell you that.
Anyway, so yes, Snoop Dogg will smoke while they play that song. 100%. What do you, Brad? I know you know nothing about it, but we'll.
So so I know this song, the Kendrick Lamar song, "Humble." Oh, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes.
I need a Snoop Dogg answer.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna say yes. Because listen, dude, I don't know. So will Kendrick Lamar sing "Humble" on stage?
All right.
I'm gonna
At
say
least you
yes.
know
No, I know
Yeah.
this song, but you're gonna be so disappointed in me. Do you know why I know this song?
I don't want to know.
It's from a South Park
Why?
episode. It's the only reason I know the song is because in a song it's parodied on South Park. I can't do it. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm disappointing you too much.
Sit
Have
down.
I did I
Be
get us
humble.
canceled?
Sit down. Be humble.
Yeah, I know
Little
that.
bitch.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Yes, this is probably his most popular song. I do hope he plays something off "To Pimp a Butterfly" just so I can, enjoy that and be the only one at my Super Bowl party that knows what the fucking song is. But yeah.
Sorry.
And then No, I'm just my parents won't know. They'll know everyone else.
Fair.
They won't know.
Fair.
They won't know
fair.
Kendrick, which is fine.
I mean, I'm just glad like this actually, I'm not gonna lie, this lineup of like performers actually sounds
to be the best one since Prince.
Exactly. It sounds the most like interesting, right? Like and a lot of the music that I listen to is a lot of like alternative rock, like punk music, right? And like all this stuff. And then I listen to like pop, like Taylor Swift, stuff like that. But but here's the thing, like if Taylor Swift performed at like the Super Bowl, like that would be boring. Like I love Taylor Swift, but that would just be boring. Like that would not be exciting to me. Same thing with like that'd be like putting Katy Perry at the Super Bowl. That would be like
she already has performed.
And that's the thing. It's just not. And right, and she had a good performance. There's nothing against Katy Perry. I just think that like there's just nothing exciting about that. When Red Hot Chili Peppers were at the Super Bowl, nothing. I love Red Hot Chili Peppers, but do I want to see them at the fucking Super Bowl? No, I don't actually have no interest in that.
The best, but one of the ones I really liked when Bruce Springsteen was on. It wasn't flashy, but there was something about it that just I loved it.
I remember when
I think, but no, the hands down the best one was Prince.
Yeah,
literally singing "Purple Rain" while the rain downpoured on him. Like you can't write something better. This year, if it's done well and it seems like it's gonna be a big show, this could be the next. It could be up there with Prince's performance. Right. It'll be hard to.
Although I don't know who Mary J. Blige is. Like I just
all right,
don't
Brad.
know.
Is Dr. Dre singing? I don't want to talk about your lack of fucking knowledge on this stuff anymore. It makes me sad. I'm just teasing, Brad. Does Dr. Dre sing "California Love"? If you even know what that song is.
Don't know the song. Why would I know? Why would I know that song?
I'm so disappointed.
I know that one song about California from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's great.
I'm gonna say
yes. In California.
And so am I. They're in California. That's true. Why wouldn't they play the song?
All right. Got a few more things here, and we'll wrap up. First commercial break. Is it going to be a car commercial?
Sure. I'm gonna say yes.
I'm gonna say no. Car commercials.
For some reason, I feel like it's gonna be like an alcohol commercial.
I think it's gonna be beer.
Yeah, that's usually the case.
Will there be a Cheetos commercial or a Pringles commercial first?
I gotta say Cheetos, so I'm gonna say yes on the Cheetos.
Well.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think Cheetos. And then this one's interesting. I don't know where this is coming from, but will there be a Captain Morgan commercial before a BMW commercial?
So I'm either going to get this one right or the first one wrong. So I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Well, so if you say, I see. Yeah.
But I mean, they're not mutually exclusive. There could be the first commercial break could be for Cadillac.
Ford.
Right, exactly. But I think that the first one, honestly, I could up the ante and say that it's going to be an electric car commercial.
Honestly, that's not a bad bet. I think there will be one throughout this.
I agree.
Definitely. So,
color of Gatorade dumped on the winning head coach.
What's it going to be? So we have clear, lime green, lime/green/yellow. They kind of just loop all that in.
Yeah.
And then orange, red, blue, and purple. I think purple has like the highest odds.
Really? Yeah,
because purple's not that common in the Gatorade bucket. Clear is obviously water, so that's always got a good chance. I think I'm gonna say like the lime, the yellow color.
So that's what I was thinking, and I promise I'm not copying you.
No, I believe it. We've differentiated a good amount here. All right. Brad, who is your Super Bowl MVP? This probably leads into who is the champion, but who is your Super Bowl MVP?
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. Did I say it right? Joe yes. Burrow. Joe Burrow.
I am taking Jonathan Matthew Stafford.
That's his name. That's his name. I didn't know that. Are you going to loop this in with the same shit, that list of things that I don't know?
No.
Sorry that I didn't read Matthew Stafford's Wikipedia page.
Well, you should. It's great material.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Or is it? It's just John Matthew Stafford. I shouldn't. It's not Jonathan.
Jonathan, yeah. Griff, who's your Super Bowl champion?
It's the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals. I am taking the Bengals to win the Super Bowl.
Listen, I understand it. I'm going with the logical approach here. I think the Bengals have the better team. I did say I think the Bengals are covering the spread.
Yeah.
They're going to keep it within 3 points. It's going to be close. I think Stafford gets it done and gets a well-deserved ring. And Joe Burrow will be back here, and he's going to win it all.
So
in the future, but not this time.
What's your final score? Tie break.
Well, we're hoping for a high-scoring game. I'm going to say 38-35.
Ours are so close. I'm going to say 35-30. Going in favor of the Bengals.
All right. And that has been the super segment, the big game, because you can't say Super Bowl if it's in advertising. That has been our big game edition of Who You Got. After the Super Bowl, we will tabulate all of these scores, figure out who the ultimate Who You Got champion is, and we will crown a winner next week, Bradford.
That's exciting.
Our season 1 of Who You Got to a close.
I literally can't wait. Like, it's
going to be a great time.
It is going to be a great time. After all of that, I can't believe that I predicted that, and it's so funny too about the Super Bowl, but that I predicted that Matthew Stafford would win a Super Bowl all to get to the Super Bowl and not pick him.
Yep. But hey, you know what? You're picking in the here and now. You have all the info now, so you've updated your decision.
Joe, I would have. I could tell you this much: I would have never picked that Joe Burrow would be in the Super Bowl. Like I could not. I would not. If that was 1 in a million, I would not put $1 on it.
Yep, I understand.
That's it. That is.
No one expected it, but hey, here we are.
Jeez. Griff. This was a good time.
Yes, it was.
For those listening, you can get into contact with us on Twitter at Take This Pod. We are also on Instagram. Barely. We're being more active. We also
we're also going to be on the TikToks. We're going to post some segments there. We'll definitely have a segment or two about with this whole segment. That is for sure.
Well, yeah. Well, we have to now. There's no money on the line, but. There is. This is credibility. This is everything.
Yes.
This is everything. This gets us a sponsorship with FanDuel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
We can only hope.
Oh my God, no. Anyway, not paid advertisement. Sorry. Don't bet unless you want to bet.
No, bet if you want, but don't bet what you can't afford to lose. Just understand you
like
have
your
a
house.
limit and
Don't bet
smart.
your house. That's I learned from my mistake. Don't bet your house.
I have a lot of questions, but we don't have time to unpack that right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed our Super Bowl Bonanza Spectaculaire. Please be safe and smart and have a great weekend. Have a great Valentine's weekend. Guys, don't forget, day after the Super Bowl, take care of the significant other. Or, shame on you, all right? Take care of them. Have fun at your parties. Enjoy the good food. Enjoy being around each other. And like I said, regardless of who wins, let's just all enjoy it. The magical time of year, Super Bowl. Brad, thanks for being my great co-host today. People, be safe, be smart, and don't forget to make your free throws. See ya.